Hi guys, this is the final tutorial of this class on how to make a built-up neckline with a bubu gown. Last time we talked about how to draft and also how to cut it. So today's one is going to be how to sew it together. And the picture we are recreating, they use a Mikado fabric for this, but I use my Ankara fabric. So it's not going to be giving it that standing effect for the bubu style, but I love what I got for this. So if you're interested, just keep watching. If you haven't watched the first video on how to draft this, please go ahead and watch the first video so you will not get confused on how to draft a built-up neck and also this type of bubu gown. Just go ahead and watch the part 1 of this tutorial. Okay, this is the final part, like the final class of this. It's a 2-in-1 class, 2-in-1 teaching. If you're interested, just keep watching. So guys, I have cut out the back and also the front of this gown. We stop at the cutting. So I have my front and also the back here. The next thing I'm going to go ahead to do is to cut the interfacing for this. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and fold it into two, like the front. I'm cutting the front first. I'm going to bring the fabric I'll be using for my interfacing. So this is the fabric, and if you watch, it's folded into two, like the side part is closed. I'm going to place it under the front gown, and it's going to be relaxing like this. Now what I'm going to do next is to measure in 2 inches, like where the built up neckline ended. I'm going to come in on the shoulder with 2 inches, like here. Now I am going to measure in 2 inches. You see that the built up neckline stop here, but from the shoulder I went in with 2 inches. This is optional. You can stop your interfacing where the built up neckline ended, but I went ahead to mark in 2 inches. You can mark 1.5. It's optional. Now from where the neck depth ended, I marked down 4 inches, or sorry, 3 inches for the neck depth. Where the neck depth ended, I marked down 3 inches for the interfacing. Now I'm going to start cutting. From the 2 inches I went in on the shoulder, I will just cut it out like so. I'm just showing us, though we all of us knows how to cut an interfacing, but this type of interfacing for the built up neckline is different. That is why I'm showing us how to cut it. So you can just go ahead and cut and slant it to the neck depth. Now I'm not done with the interfacing, so I just remove it, marking where the 2 inches ended and where the 3 inches I came down from the neck depth. So I have about 2.5 inches for the wideness there. I'm just going to connect it straight up to meet to the 2 inches I came in on the shoulder. Like I said before, this is optional. You don't have to come in with 2 inches on the shoulder. You can actually stop where the built up neckline stop. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut it out like so. Now the front is ready, and you can see how beautiful the interfacing is looking. I'll just keep it aside and I'll get the back. So this is the pieces for the back interfacing. I'm just going to arrange my back gown and fold the pieces like this, making sure the side part is closed. I'm just going to fold. So what I did on the front, I'm going to do the same thing on the back. I will come in with 2 inches on the shoulder for the back, but the depth of the interfacing is going to be about 6 inches, though later on I trim it a little. Now I'm going to mark the 2 inches that I came in on the shoulder. So the length of the interfacing that I have for the back is about 7 inches there, but I'm still going to go ahead and trim it while sewing it. So now I'm just going to go ahead and cut. From the 2 inches I came in, So I'm just going to cut it out like so. And yeah, that will be all for the back and front interfacing. Next thing is to introduce the interfacing, sorry, the the stay that we are going to be using for this. You can use a collar stay to achieve this. You can iron a collar stay on the built up neck. You don't need to iron a collar stay on all these neck depths, just on the built up neckline. Then use your pepper stay to iron on the main interfacing. But from where the built up neck started, iron your collar stay to it. But I do not have a collar stay. That is why I'm using a light gum stay to achieve this. So I'm going to first of all go ahead and cut exactly the way I cut the interfacing. I'm going to cut the light in gum stay like so, as you see me doing. I'll do the same thing for the back. This is light interfacing, guys. It's not the hard one. Sorry, light gum stay. Now I'm going to open the interfacing up like this, and I'm going to iron this light interfacing on the sorry, light gum stay on the interfacing. Okay, I'm going to iron it. After ironing, I am still going to double it. The reason why I want to double this is for, though I'm going to be doubling from the built up neckline, and from where the boot up neckline started, I'll just double a little downward. Like this particular place I'm touching right now, I am going to double them. I'll place the gum stay on the other side and iron it. I just want that build up neck or side to be strong. Okay, so I just have about 5 inches length where I double the built up neck, and that is what I also did on the back interfacing. I doubled it as well for it to give me that strong standing effect. So this is what I have. Next is to attach it on the main fabric. You can see that I doubled that particular place I'm pointing, both for the front and also for the back, because I'm using a light in gum stay. Now this is how you're going to place it on the front. This is the front interfacing. You can see I just place it the right side of the interfacing, facing the right side of the front gown. Now I'm just going to go ahead to stitch with half an inch. Like the place I'm pointing, I'll stitch with half an inch. Then I will stop where the interfacing ended on the shoulder. I'll also do the same thing on this side as well. But while you are stitching this, please pin it up. Pin it up, stitch with half an inch. Make sure you get a smooth neck depth for the front. Get a smooth neck depth for the front. I'll go ahead and do that both on the back and also on the front. Now this is the back, and you can see that I have done the stitching. I also stitch, you can see the stitching lines there. I stitch from the interfacing shoulder to the built up neck. So this is what I have. I have, after stitching, I have like excess on the interfacing. I'm just trimming it out. So after trimming, I'm just going to go ahead and notch. Please, notching is very, very important. Make sure you notch your front and also the back for the neck to relax very well. Make sure you notch, okay? Then after notching this, I'm going to turn it up, iron it, and join the back shoulder and the front shoulder together. I'm going to go ahead and turn it, take it to my ironing table, iron the front and also the back neckline. After ironing, I'm just going to go ahead and join the neck together. So this is how the back is looking, so beautiful. You can see it there. And here comes the front. So I still have this opening at the interfacing damper, but I'm just going to use my hemming gum to gum it down. You can see how beautiful the neck depth is looking. So make sure you use your hemming gum to gum the down part of the interfacing. Now I have joined the front and back shoulder. I've ironed it, and this is how beautiful it's looking so beautiful. I have the neck of the front and also the back joined together here. Okay, and please, the next thing I did here, I also top stitch. After joining the front and the back shoulder, I top stitch. And look, I also make sure that the front neck and the back neck, the side part, they align like they are equal. So this is the place I just top stitch on the shoulder. You can see that the mouth of this neck, front and back, they align, and I also top stitch on the side. And while top stitching, please make sure that you push the allowance, the shoulder allowance inside. Make sure you push it backward, push it to the back, and top stitch on top of that allowance. The allowance that is on the shoulder, make sure you push it to the back and top stitch. And also make sure that your neck mouth, like the neck or mouth of the front and back, they align like they are equal. Okay, if they are not, if the back and the front neckline are not equal, guys, what you just did is just rubbish. If you didn't make them to align, if your neck front and back is not equal, you just make, I don't even know how to use the word I'm going to use to qualify this. Okay, make sure that the neck front and back are equal. Now I want to give like slit, give an opening on the down part of the front. You know that this has a slit on the down part of the front. Then from the length of my front, I measured 2 inches above my knee. 2 inches above my knee, that is what I have, because this is my own gown. I folded it in an angle shape, and it has this fish mouth, like this very pencil mouth. So I went up 2 inches above my knee, and that is what I have. But before slitting, before you slit, please guys, make sure you have shape. I'm going to show us how to shape this bubu with 2 different ways. Okay, with 2 different ways you can shape. After shaping, that is when you are going to slit the front slit. Please don't slit it now. This is the fabric I'm going to use to turn it up. I'm going to place this fabric, like these pieces, front of the pieces facing on the wrong side of the slitting fabric. The right side of the slit, I'm going to place it on top of this, on top of the wrong side of the slit. I'm just going to stitch and turn it up. Now you can see that I have folded the front and also the back together here. I am trying to show us how to shape to achieve the main shape of the gown we are recreating. The first shape for everybody is to get the proper shape first. Okay, I have the first shaping and also the second shaping, but I'm going to be using the second shaping. But the first shaping, if you like that type of shaping, you can go ahead and use it. But the one I'm going to use is the second shaping. Now, how you are going to do it, even if you folded on the straight or fabric, if your gown is folded on the straight, just measure from your shoulder down to get the hip length and mark. So my hip length here is 25 inches. From that 25 inches, I measure down extra 7 inches and mark. From the shoulder, I measured 25 inches, which is my hip length. I mark. From the hip length, I measure down 7 inches and also mark. Hope you understand. I'm trying to shape this bubu to give us the actual shape of the gown we are recreating. This is the first shaping. Okay, now from that 7 inches I came down, I will measure 10 inches, which is my hip measurement. Then I'm going to go ahead and add extra 3 inches. Extra 3 inches. Okay, if you folded your fabric into 4, like straight up, you know that this my bubu gown, I folded it in an angle shape. So for the down part, you are not going to be having extra 3 inches. So on the down part of my own, I just have my hip measurement on the down part just with 1 inch, but it's not going to stop me from shaping this. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to connect from that 7 inches. I'll just connect it in a slanting way to meet to the hip area. Now I am going to mark down my sleeve length. I will mark the sleeve length of 13 inches. Guys, you can use 14, you can use 15, you can use 16 inches. 16 is just the maximum. You can use 16 inches, but I'm making use of 13 inches for my sleeve length. And remember, this sleeve length has a puffy effect. It's like a puffy if puff sleeve, okay, but I will come back to that. Now the next thing is to connect from the 7 inches down to the up to the hip area. From that hip area, I'm going to connect it, stopping at the sleeve length. Then on that sleeve length, I came in with 2 inches, and you can see I just stop here now, curving it out to stop on the sleeve length. I'm just taking it down to the hip length, down to the place I marked in my hip measurement plus 3 inches allowance. If you folded your gown straight up, this is how you're going to do that, okay. If you folded like my own is not up, it does not even have allowance. The only allowance this my pencil gown, this angle gown has is just 1 inch, but it's not going to stop me from that. I'm just going to connect it straight from the 7 inches I came down. I'm just going to connect it straight down to the length of this gown. So you see, that is why I said if you will first of all shape before you slit that deep opening that was on the front of this gown. Shape before you slit your opening, okay. Like my own, I have already slit, but I went ahead to stitch it close, to close this slitting stitch, okay. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead is to cut. After shaping it, I will cut. So if you want to leave it like this, the next thing I'm going to do is to just run a stitch of 1 inch down, and you leave your bubu gown like this. Then you work on your sleeve, because we have a puffy sleeve. Just if you want your bubu gown to be like this, just shape it using 1 inch. But if you don't want it to be like this, use my second option, and that second option that is the exact style that was on the picture we are recreating. Now after cutting this out, I'm going to go ahead and fold my sleeve length, like the round sleeve of this fabric. I'm going to fold it to have the elastic casing. I'm going to be inserting an elastic to this sleeve length, so that elastic is going to give it that puff sleeve effect, okay. I'm just going to go ahead and fold the round sleeve into my elastic casing. So the elastic I'm using is just 3/4 of an inch. It's just a small elastic, okay. So I'm just going to fold the sleeve length, take it to my sewing machine, and insert my elastic. Just measure your round sleeve length where your sleeve ended. Just measure the round sleeve of that your sleeve. Use it and cut your elastic and insert it on the sleeve. So this particular place is the front slit. You can see that I have used the pieces to placing the right side of the pieces on the wrong side of that slitting of the fabric. I'll just stitch with 1/2 inch. After stitching it, I'm just going to go ahead and turn it up to the front. So the right side of the pieces is going to be on top of the right side of the front. After turning it up, you can see what I'm showing you here. I'll just fold a little, then top stitch the pieces on top of the fabric. Now guys, this is the second shaping, and that is what I just did. And you can see that I have inserted my elastic. I have gone ahead already to shape. So I'm just going to show you how I achieve this shaping, okay. I'm just going to show you how I achieve the shaping, which is the second shaping, and that is the exact shape that the picture we are recreating have. Now, on the sleeve, sorry, from the shoulder, measure down your hip length. I'm still going to use my hip length of 25 inches. From this length of the sleeve, I came in with 3.5 inches. You know, the first shaping is 2 inches. From the length of the sleeve, I came in with 3.5 inches. And this place I'm marking right now is my hip length. And this second place I'm marking is the 7 inches I came down. Alright, this is the second shaping. So from that 3.5 inches I came down from the sleeve length, I'm going to connect it like so. I'll curve it, I'll go in like this, curve it in, take it outside to meet to where the hip length is, like this. From that 3.5 inches, I'll curve it in a curvy shape, connecting it, going out to meet to the hip length. Though on the hip length I came in with 1 inch. Then from that 7 inches I came down with, I measured in 2 inches. So I will connect that curve from the 2 inches I came down from the 7 inches straight up to the 1 inch I came in on the hip length. I don't know if you understand. From the 3.5 inches on the sleeve length, I will connect it, curving it, connecting it to the 1.5 inches I came in on the hip length. Then taking it down to the 2 inches I came in on the 7 inches I measured down. From that 2 inches, I'll just take it straight up and run a stitch on top of it. After that, I'm going to trim, because we're going to have excess or on that part. I'm just going to go ahead and trim. And guys, that will be all for this tutorial. I hope I try, and I hope this is helpful to someone. Thank you, and also bye for now.